For that matter, the eternal Son, for that matter, the eternal Son of God proclaims to be the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the fairest among 10,000, the lily of the valley, the bright and the morning star, he who is and was and who is coming, the Almighty. Can I get a witness? That's who he is. Is he the lily of the valley for you? Is he the bright and the morning star? Is he Revelation chapter 1 and chapter 22, the Alpha, the Omega, the first and the last? Everything from A to Z. Here's an illustration I got from Brother J. Hess years ago. Never forgot it. And the Word was God. In the garden was the woman. And the woman was with the human. And the woman was human. That is, the woman possessed the very essence of her partner. Let me say it again. In the garden was the woman. And the woman was with the human. And the woman was human. That is, the woman possessed the very essence of her father, the Logos, the eternal Son of God. Can you look this way if you're not looking? Possess the very nature of God the Father. That's who he is. Jesus said it this way. I and my Father are what? I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit further on. God without the definite article signifies, God without the definite article signifies less than the God, but it cannot be understood as a God, as though the Logos were a lesser God along the supreme God. Let me slow down. Nor as simply as divine, for which the word, another word, theos, I can't hardly distinguish from the other, was well known in 2 Peter 1:4. Believers share divine nature, nor as indicating the exercise of divine functions without possessing the divine nature. Rather, it denotes God in his nature, as truly God as he was with whom he was, yet without exhausting the being of God. John did not say the Word was the God. He said the Word was God, indicating that Jesus Christ possessed the very nature of God the Father himself. When you witness to a witness or to someone else who may be a little bit hesitant about who God is, please, brothers and sisters, do not call Jesus Christ the Father. Can I get a witness? He is not the Father. The early Christians fought against that kind of thinking. The first thing they're going to ask you is, then who was he praying to? He wasn't praying to himself. I'll intervene here. He, Philippians chapter 2, was in the form of God. What did he do, Brother Bruce? He came in the form of a servant. And that word form has the idea of the outward expression of what he really is. It's the Greek word morphe. So when it says he was in the form of God, it means that in the heavenlies, before there was any creation, God the Son expressed all that his Father was, and when he came in the form of a servant, he expressed all that man was. He is truly the God-man. This reminds me of Genesis 1:26. Let us make man in our image. Brothers and sisters, you got to get this next part. Some have suggested that when God speaks in the first person plural, he is simply using the royal we, as when Queen Victoria said, "We are not amused." This does not explain the many times in the Old Testament that God is referred to in the plural form. Genesis 3:22. Then the Lord said, behold, the man has become like one of us, knowing good and evil. And here's the part I really hope you understand, because I got excited when I saw this. Someone has suggested that God is talking to the angels. But if so, why are angels not mentioned in the context? God never takes counsel with angels, only of himself. Can I get a witness? When he said, let us make man, he wasn't talking to an angel. He was talking to his only unique son. And you're not made in the image of an angel. You're made in the image of God. Listen to some more passages. Let us go down and therefore confuse their languages. Here's another one, Isaiah 6:8. Whom shall I send? And whom will go for us? Back to John 10:30. I and my Father are one. See, you Christians believe that Jesus is God the Father. See, it's right there. That's what you always say. I and my Father are hen, H-E-N, not E-I-S. One in action, not in person. Did you get that? When Jesus said, I and my Father were one, he was saying we're one in action, not one person. I repeat, when you talk to those who are a little bit shaky about who God is, please make sure you identify the Father and the Son as separate persons who share the eternal essence of God. Now we got a little participation. I can tell I'm not going to get done, but I want you to, I've got some categories down here. Categories of prayer, categories of worship, and any other thing I'm allowed to elaborate on. I want you to turn, if you will, to John 14:14. Many of you already know this already. John 14:13 and 14. This is Jesus talking. Let me ask you a question first. I used to be, I retired now. I used to be a school teacher years ago, and I found out that class participation is one of the greatest things. So I'm going to call this class participation. Can I get a witness? Amen. Verse 13. And whatsoever you shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. But catch verse 14. Let me ask you that question first. To whom do you pray? Tell me. Somebody said Jesus. Can somebody say God? You're only allowed to pray to an omnipotent being, right? All right, now catch verse 14. If ever you should ask me, that's right. Jesus is talking. If ever anything you should ask me in the name of me, this I shall do. Can I get a witness? Jesus is saying that you can pray to me and I will directly answer your prayer. It turns out that some Greek manuscripts of the Gospel of John omit the word me. The best explanation for this omission is that some copyists indeed thought it odd that Jesus should speak about addressing prayer in his own name, so they omitted it. There's not much question that the original wording of the passage included me, because the manuscripts supporting it are generally older, are from a broader range of manuscripts, are from a more diverse geographical origins than those that are not. Even if you leave out the word me, the natural inference, I'm on page 13, is that the person who does what we ask is the person whom we ask. Prayer to Jesus. Not discounting prayer to God the Father.